Good morning and welcome to all traders on this Friday, the 7th of August. Yesterday we could see that the Turkish Lira has taken quite a nosedive on a lot of the currencies, none more so than the US dollar. The recent reports have suggested that the collapse in tourism as a result of the coronavirus pandemic has left a gaping hole in the country's finances. Foreign investors have fled, pulling large amounts of volume out of the country's local currency bonds and stocks over the last 12 months. So this is a significant indication that the Turkish economy is on the downside. It's been speculated that the country has burnt through also billions of dollars of reserves, a lot more so than last year. Recent figures have estimated that $65 billion of reserves have already been placed into the economy. That's a lot more than the 40 billion for the whole of last year. So lots of questions to be answered from the central bank in the next 24 hours. In other news, the Bank of England yesterday held its base rate at 0.1%, which wasn't really a surprise. They've come out to say that keeping the interest rates on hold will allow businesses and households to get cheaper loans to reduce the cost that they face during this difficult time. The Bank of England have also warned that the country will have to struggle until the end of the year at least. So the base rate is not looking to move that often until the end of the year. The next rate announcement is on the 17th of September. So this will be very, very significant for a lot of traders to keep an eye out of. So we're just going to look at the Turkish Lira in the long term at the moment. So this is a weekly chart. So I'm just checking it for the last couple of years when we had this big move. And this was in 2018. So what I can see here, if we do from there to there, so what I can see from here is a very significant move on the upside. Obviously, we had an attempt at a double top here, which was when the last time it actually rose above $7 this year. This is when the pandemic first took a hold of all currencies, but as we can see, it's trading far out of the Ichimoku cloud at the moment, and it's trading well above the Kijun line. However, the Tenkan line, the conversion line, is actually keeping a hold of the recent spike, so we'll see how that plays out. If we add a Fibonacci extension, we can place it from when the prices last came out of the cloud to the last high, and then we go down maybe to around here. So what we're expecting here from these results is that if we see a little bit of a downside shift, it could fall in between the categories of the Tenkan and the Kijun, which would indicate that it could actually go towards the cloud, but we're not really expecting it to start dipping down into the lower channel. So what would be a good interesting buy move for myself is around this area, around 6.68. At that line we could see a bounce, and then it could go further on the upside. So it could go to 7.5, which is 61% of the Fibonacci extension, and then probably move up to about $8 in the next couple of weeks should the results go out of favor of the Turkish economy. So this will be interesting to keep an eye on. So moving on to the euro pound, if we go into the daily chart, so what I can see here is a channel developing on the upside. If we take a Fibonacci from the lowest to the last high, we can pull this over a little bit. So we can see some very significant levels here. We're seeing that the euro pound is actually bouncing off this trend line, which indicates that it is in the cloud now, and it could indicate that it could drop a little bit lower. If it does drop a little bit lower, if it breaks this cloud, we can see that this is the first attempt at the 0.895. If it does break this channel as well, again we could see further downside. As I say, if the prices are floating in the cloud, then it's a good indication that we can see a bit of a downsell. On the other side of that, if we do get another attempt, as we can see these levels here, We've seen some attempts at breaks on the upside and here. So basically, if we get up to 0.91, which is 61%, we can see further upside on the euro pound in the long term. So if we take a look at the 1 hour chart to get a bit more short-term perspective, we can see that it is still trading in the same channel. If we just zoom in slightly, we can also see that it's trading in between the Kejun and Tekken line, and in the cloud, which indicates that we could see a move on the upside in the next couple of days, depending obviously on certain events. But I'm looking like it's going to probably bounce on this line and then start moving upwards towards the medium regression. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll speak again soon. Have a great trading day. Bye bye for now.